It's Monday, February 10th, and today I talk with Tommy Ryan about some of the things you should be thinking about after doing a Jive migration to Office 365. I hope you enjoy. Hello, everyone. I'm here today with Tommy Ryan. Hey, Tommy Ryan.
Hey, Danny Ryan. How you doing?
We're halfway across the nation from each other, far,
You
far
must be
away.
talking real loud because I can just about hear you from.
It's almost like I can hear you through the walls. It's crazy. This is crazy. It's spooky, Tommy. So today, seriously, we're in the same office and we have two different mics. Oh well. We wanted to talk with you about a subject that came up last year with regards to helping people migrate from Jive over into Office 365, and it's really around what things can we do while the people are making that move to make sure that transition goes well, that you don't lose the engagement, and really that you have a successful Jive migration. So wanted to talk to you about a couple of those things. So I'll just ask you openly, sort of, what are some topics that come up with regards to this, Tommy?
I think some of the key topics are looking at beyond the content, and we're kind of beyond that in the challenges of migration, where you're trying to get the content over in a place that it can land. Then you need to start looking at, well, how do people interact with this content? Are they very social about the way they do that? And what social features would they use? Are they liking? Are they sharing? Are they bookmarking things? And then how do they interact with that information? Do they like structured ways to do that help them make decisions? Things like question and answer. Well, maybe I can move this over into a discussion inside of SharePoint, but what's the roadmap for discussions? Is it going to address the things like question and answers?
Yeah.
So when you think about moving over content, you need to think about what's the interactions I need to support and I need to evangelize, because if I'm not showing people what's out there, how do you do it, then they might think it's missing and they might go somewhere else. They might end up popping up another platform to hit that certain feature that they're looking for. So you want to know, beyond getting the content over in the right location, how am I going to use this so I can, one, put it in the right location, and two, put the effort towards measuring that I'm getting the behaviors I expect, and providing the right amount of education and evangelization so people can get connected with the features that are going to help them collaborate in the target platform.
And this has changed over quite a bit since we were Three-Will as an organization did this migration way back. And I remember, and this was one of my concerns, which was when we move off of Jive and over into Office 365 yes, we got all the content, but would we continue to update that content? Would we lose the engagement? The good news is I think there's been tremendous strides over the last couple of years, namely with Microsoft Teams, where you're getting a lot of the Jive-like functionality, the social experience within Teams. And we're also seeing, there is Yammer continues to be a product that's being supported by Microsoft, but with each year it seems like it's making this whole process easier and easier, and we can take advantage of new features and functionality coming out from Microsoft.
Yeah, that definitely is something that, from the early days of doing job migrations to now, is people really appreciate the user interface that you have, and the features. Really, there's a lot of capability in the platform, and it's understanding what's going to speak best to your organization. Are they ready to do things like in Teams? Because I could argue, to get work done around documents, that the collaboration layer on top of documents and Teams is heads and shoulders around what you can do in most other platforms, including Jive.
Yeah.
So, that's one of those things that you don't want to lose that opportunity to excite people around, the possibilities that they now have, versus maybe frustration that you land them in this new place and they don't know what to do. They're looking for something that looks like Jive, and it's not going to look like Jive. But if they have a new paradigm of, what is team-based document collaboration in a Microsoft team, a lot of light bulbs can go off and early on drive adoption that maybe, you might misstep if you're not thinking about, what do my users need to be empowered beyond just putting their data in the new platform.
This reminds me of the fact that, as we mature, I think with our offerings, how we're getting into more of things like change management, where you are changing internally, a platform for them, and what are we going to do to address the change that's going on, and the training that needs to occur. And I know one of the neat things, we get to work with really great organizations that like sort of put together a lot of materials around, the client often will do a lot of these things themselves, which is the internal training around, this is the way it was before, or here's the way it is now, and rolling it out inside of the organization, and how important that is as well, because I think in the beginning we just worried about, let's make sure that we don't lose the content. And then once they feel comfortable we didn't lose the content, then it's going to be the experience. Is the experience similar or something that is comparable to what they had previously? And we always want to be improving. So that's very important.
Right.
Yep. So.
Yeah, I think we don't lose the value of the content. And if we're missing certain capabilities to allow that content to stay relevant and alive, then we're in danger of losing investments. Yeah. And we've always been surprised with some organizations that decide not to move the content, and then it just questions, how valuable was that content in the first place. But if you move it over and you don't provide the kind of capability to make similar types of business decisions around the data, then you're going to frustrate your users and they're going to not be happy with that experience. And we've seen things like a question and answers within Jive that has some unique capability that you can't quite get that in SharePoint or Yammer or Teams. And so we've created custom web parts for that, or in some cases found third-party web parts so we can connect those dots for our customers versus them, losing users because they can't do what they did before. And that's frustrating. No one wants to have their cheese moved and then they can't do what they did before. Yeah.
Yep. So anything else before we wrap up here?
That you said it. I think, the adoption is such a critical piece. It's really influenced us, and why we have put a practice around client success is we know that is one of the biggest hurdles in a successful migration, be it Jive to Office 365 or Slack to Teams or, Box to OneDrive. Those types of migrations are usually not as much as a technical challenge, but an organizational challenge. And the more you can measure and be proactive around how are we going to control this experience to maximize the user's satisfaction when we land in this new place, that's where you can move the needle quite a bit.
Yep.
And that's one of those things that you almost get one chance at it, right? Yep. It's that first impression. And if you can really have a home run there with the first impression, it's going to go a long way. It's going to be more downhill than uphill after that migration is complete. So I think that's something that is a big takeaway for me in terms of our experiences over the years of what makes a migration a successful migration.
Great. Thanks, Tommy, for your time for this. We have the date of this recording is Monday, February 10th. We've got an upcoming webinar on Jive to Office 365. So if you want to come by 3will.com, and we'll be in our events portion of our website. We'll have all the details on how to sign up for that event. So please join us for these types of topics and help with anything with regards to moving from Jive over to Office 365. Thanks again, Tommy, for your time.
Thank you for listening to the Work Together Better podcast. We're available on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, and TuneIn. If you're looking for a partner to help you craft a modern digital workplace on the Microsoft Cloud, please come by and see us at 3will.com. That's the number 3 spelled out, WILL.com. Thank you and have a great day.